put your faith in God. September 1, 2014. Being merciful towards others demonstrates that you are being led by a higher power, a higher calling to be compassionate in your behavior and ways, words and actions. Mercy has always been more involved than mere sympathy, whereas sympathy is felt as pity. Mercy, on the other hand, dear ones, is pure love in action. The profoundness of empathy begins to move deep within you and creates a need, a yearning that is pure and good for you to do something, anything to help. Part of being empathetic is wanting to bring relief and comfort to the dire needs of those that need it, that you are aware of, even if these dear souls are right in your own community or far away. Those that are filled with the gift of mercy often help those with emotional, physical, financial, or spiritual challenges and difficulties. There are many city churches that demonstrate mercy by meeting critical needs within its own community. Some churches do this in the form of soup kitchens, food drives, gifts for children, aid to those with low income, and so forth. Many churches and their ministry share and give mercifully to its members and help to connect the love of God to those within and outside of the church walls. Mercy is needed for many things and places. It can help lighten another person's worry, but it is important to fathom that mercy does not act alone. Mercy is accompanied by unconditional love, compassion, forgiveness and gratitude. Many times when you rescue someone from their despair through your genuine kindness, you have enabled them to do better for themselves, to bring improvement into their lives. Sometimes you may become frustrated when trying to help someone because you might not see right away what their problem or issue is. Or you may feel you are being taken for granted when you do see changes happening quick enough. The dear souls with the gift of mercy sometimes becomes overly involved with the need to help lessen other people's burdens where they themselves become burned out. And we have witnessed many dear souls with the gift of mercy become vainly proud of their merciful work where they become hypocritical. Those with the gift of mercy need healing themselves. Spending time away or with family will help to regroup and rebalance energy and bring peace and calm back into their life. Even if you do not have the gift of mercy, there is a lot of work you can do for others and for yourself that demonstrates God is working through you. When you have recovered from difficult challenges or situations, you may find yourself seeking forgiveness from God. When you are receiving His forgiveness, you are then able to share this gift with others in the form of your love-filled actions, words, and choices. We know whenever you've been wronged by another, how easy it is to retaliate and become bitter towards the one who had offended you. However, to be bitter actually harms you more than it does to the one who had offended you simply because it creates a deeper bond with hatred and negativity. To follow the direction of bitterness and hatred, you'll end up experiencing the destructive magnitudes of hatred and bitterness until you finally make a conscious decision to walk the path of freedom and forgiveness. No, it is not easy to forgive, but forgiveness, dear ones, is always made possible through the gift of God's grace, learning to understand there are other ways, more healthful ways to respond to offense, and one of those ways is by having a forgiving heart. When you think of forgiveness, think about how much God has already forgiven you for things you may not have been aware of. He has forgiven you for. Remember, He is merciful upon all His children and loves each of you very much. He knows you have much to learn and much to overcome. He is not a punisher, He is a giver of love. It is the mind that creates emotional upset and disturbing feelings that creates so much unnecessary suffering and punishment. He does not question your motive, but He will guide you to question your own, to determine if your actions are from the heart. If God can forgive you for all the misdeeds you have done, is it then possible to forgive others for their offensive ways and behaviors? So many grudges are held because people are unable to let go and forgive. When you receive God's mercy, His love and kindness, these gifts ought to be enough, dear ones, to motivate you to be forgiving of others. Forgiveness is able to be extended to others in the same capacity that God demonstrated to you when He forgave any karmic debt you could not repay. When there are grudges, there are choices still able to be made, And one of those choices is to let the grudge go, to find liberation from the action, and to allow forgiveness to enter your being and love to be shared through your actions. It is hard to remember while you are at the mercy of someone who is being mean and is offending you in some way that God is actually working through this individual. He is trying to show you that this other person is in some kind of pain or torment of their own, and is demonstrating to you through them that it's possible to forgive their actions. By only focusing on the offense of the offender, you will have a difficult time avoiding the tight grip of bitterness. However, if you can view the situation as something to learn from that can be applied positively to your life, to develop further your own personal character and allow yourself to be open to new opportunities and possibilities, then the significance of the harm from the offender is drastically reduced. Then your response to the offending individual becomes the major worry. If you look back to God's golden Son, Jesus, the Christ, you will see He demonstrated the greatest example of forgiveness. He is the one who forgave freely. In the midst of His own suffering, He was not angry or bitter. He prayed for forgiveness for the ones who hurt Him and nailed Him to the cross to die. He chose to love instead of hate. He chose to trust and listen to God, His Heavenly Father, instead of becoming vengeful. Love has always trumped hate. Sometimes it might take a while, but with consistent demonstration of goodwill towards others, love can overcome any obstacle. It is important, dear ones, when you are being offended, respond with faith in God for this turn of events, giving thanks for the opportunity to demonstrate compassion and goodwill, as well as for the growth and development you'll accomplish through the experience. It is important to be able to give thanks to everything in life, not just for the good things that you are able to receive and sometimes give, but for the hardships and offenders as well. All comes your way to teach and to guide you further along your journey of self-discovery and recognizing that every dear soul is worthy of love, forgiveness, mercy and gratitude. Do you know the difference between forgiveness and pardon? They are both very different. Forgiveness is a personal choice made in order to release the harm someone has done to you, whereas pardon is about release from a legal penalty. It is more than possible to forgive someone who had offended you, where you no longer hold any animosity towards them, but you cannot remove this person from any crimes they may have been held accountable for unless you have the legal authority to do so. We have seen many families, especially parents of children that have been murdered or abused by the hands of another, look deep within their hearts and find the courage and strength to forgive the offender. What this forgiveness does for the family is it allows God to come and uplift them. It helps remove the negative energy of his actions and aligns the one in question before God for atonement. Yes, the offending person would still be guilty for their crimes and would still be accountable for his or her actions, but the family that gave forgiveness is able to heal and move on, and many times this demonstration has helped the offender to display remorse for his or her actions. Trust in God, dear ones, to be just in every situation regardless of the smallness or enormity of the situation. Don't avenge, trust and allow God to work in his mysterious ways and all will work out. If you have been wronged by someone, ask God, dear ones, for direction. Ask him how he wants you to demonstrate his love to this person. Find a way that allows you to maintain your loving demeanor, a way that counters any dark, troubling threat of an emotional outburst. Even if you must invest some of your own energy through prayer, uplifting words of affirmation, charitable acts of service, or even through small, thoughtful gifts. Overcome their offending ways with kindness and goodness. Regardless if the harm done to you was intentional or unknown, forgiveness will provide you with the ability to have concern for the person who had harmed you after the fact. Forgiveness allows your heart to open and to become more cooperative with God's work in this person. Forgiveness allows your genuine and unconditional love for this person to help him or her grow, to bring positive changes to their life and to mature mentally and emotionally. Life has many suffering moments and many of them can be overcome with the powers of mercy, gratitude, forgiveness, love, and compassion towards yourself and towards any offending person. Without knowing suffering, you would not know what it means to have genuine pleasure. You can rejoice in any moment that brings suffering and difficulty because of the inner knowing of the good work God is intending for you to accomplish through the experience. Just think how much more knowledge you will gain and how much of that knowledge will in time be turned into wisdom that can be utilized for upcoming situations. Every trial and tribulation, dear ones, is an opportunity to grow more in maturity and to be filled with a larger and greater understanding of God's ways and actions that are always filled with pure divine love. I am Archangel Chamuel through Julie Miller. SpiritualNetworks.com